Ask the Messengers, the program that deals with substance abuse, real people telling real stories. Where there is addiction, there is a chance for recovery. We're trying to help save lives on Ask the Messengers.
Not so long ago, the Ask the Messengers crew had the opportunity to travel to Dayton, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and were planning to head to Hollywood. Then all traveling stopped due to the pandemic that hit the entire world, better known as COVID-19. Now that we are all fully vaccinated and super excited that we're able to travel again, we've been to Oregon, Idaho, and beautiful Niagara Falls, which is one of the most powerful waterfalls in the world. Future travel dates are already in motion for other states as long as traveling will be safe and allowed. Throughout these travels, we met a few real people who were willing to share their real stories, and you will hear a few of them today. Also in this episode, you will hear a mother's plea to crazy drivers as she shares her pain of losing her son who was killed by a hit-and-run driver who is still roaming around freely and refuses to come forward to turn themselves in. Ask the Messengers begins now.
What was your drug of choice?
Marijuana, ecstasy, and PCP.
Heroin and meth.
I was 13 when I first started drinking.
My clean date is May 5th, 2016, and my drug of choice was crack, coke, weed, alcohol, anything that got my mind off of anything I didn't want to focus on.
My clean date is November 16th, 2019.
How old were you when you first picked up?
10 or 11.
And how were you able to get a hold to it at such a young age?
Just the household I was brought up in, alcohol and weed. It was everywhere.
I dabbled and dabbled in a little bit of weed, but it never really did anything for me like the bottle did. The bottle cured so much pain. It's pretty much what I knew, so I just grew up with it, and it's just one of the things that helped me through all my life problems, whether it was happy or sad, joyful, it didn't matter. As long as there's a bottle around, it was cool.
My first drug was weed, and did not like it. I was stuck, and I've always been a person with a lot of energy, so it just wasn't my thing. And from there, it went to X pills, and that was more my speed. It hyped me up, it kept me going. I wanted to keep going and keep going and keep going. And from there, it went to coke, from coke to acid.
How did your using affect your relationship with your family?
It made them fearful of me because I was unpredictable. They didn't know what drug I was off of. So it kind of made them scared to be around me or tell me I'm crazy. So they kind of like distanced themselves from me. My
aunties turned on me because of my drinking and I wouldn't stop. I hurt my father because I wouldn't stop drinking. He wanted me to. Me and my mom so much alike, we bump heads with it. We always cool when we drunk. It's just when we sober, we all just bumping heads, and then it would wind up getting to the point where we was drunk and we was just bumping heads. I got aunties that don't even want to talk to me no more because they don't even consider me family.
At first, it kind of grew us closer because it was a bonding thing, but as I got older and made my own family, it totally destroyed it.
With my dad, he just got quiet with me. You know, he would still give me when I asked, even though he knew. And the relationship with my mom, even though I grew up in that home where we got everything we wanted, we had everything we needed, I've always looked for a certain type of love from my mom. Because my dad that raised me is not my biological father, and I'm my mom's first child. And my sister and my brother comes from my dad. Like, we have the same mom, but not the same dad. And so I've always thought that I seen a different relationship. And so it just made it worse. I'm 3 years in, and I still look for certain things from her. I'm just now getting to a place where I learned to accept her love the way she give it to me, and it don't look like I want it to look.
What made you say, look, enough is enough, I'm done?
When I seen a downward spiral and a spiritual awakening, in a sense. My cousin died, so it made me come back and submit. You know, I had to be beaten into submission. What I mean by that is I got a problem with surrendering and admitting that I'm powerless over anything outside of myself. I got a lot of self-control issues, and like I struggle with God as well. So it's like that kind of like paradox situation. Like I think that I got a handle on it when I really don't. So God had to show me that I ain't God.
I actually just recently hit my bottom, to be honest with you. I lost 3 houses. That was houses, they come, they go, they gone, bam. Nothing, that didn't faze me much. I lost a car, that didn't faze me either. I done lost family, that did not faze me either. But this F2 they trying to throw on me, oh, that's phasing everything inside my head. Like the courts is the one reason why I'm actually really going through with this, you know, and plus I got a daughter too, so I'm trying to get that on rolling right, because you know I done messed up there. I done destroyed that a lot, because I just could not stop drinking, and I would not stop drinking. I mean, you would think after you lose your first house you would quit. Nope, not my case. I would lose my first, third, second, fourth, 15th, 16th. I would lose them all until the courts came in and said, well, if you don't stop drinking, we're gonna put you in jail for the next 8 years.
In and out of jail, treatment centers, coming back home and not being able to leave the house without my daughter asking me when I'm gonna be back and crying and stuff like that. I saw how it was affecting her, and instead of getting sentenced to treatment, I took myself there that time and have been clean since.
The last time was when my daughter, at the age of 15, she called me. Well, she didn't call me. I got a message from in jail to call home. And she told me she was pregnant. And I was sitting in jail ready to get out so I could get high until I got that news. And I went back to my cell because I was able, my parents are very well known when it comes to the jail system and all of that from where I'm from. And so I was able to make a special phone call. And so when I went back to my cell, I just cried. And I remember saying, I don't want my grandbaby to see me the way his or her mom would have had to see me. And not saying that she seen me that way, because she didn't. I pretty much left her with my parents. And when I would clean myself up for 2 or 3 days at a time before I knew I was going to visit her. You know, and that went on for years. So I just knew that I wanted to be a grandmother, a better grandmother than a better mother than I was.
Stay tuned for more of Ask the Messengers.
Hi, my name is Artesia Washington, and I'd like to welcome you to Irvine Newer Rehab, where we help you reach your goals of rehabilitation. So you ask, why choose Irvine? Now here at Irvine, we offer physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, counseling, aquatic therapy, and massage therapy. And we help build you back to your previous level of functioning. Give us a call, 248-415-2500, www.irvineneurorehab.com.
Listen. All it took was someone who would insist that I just try.
Suddenly, everything was turned around because they judge you.
You tell them, I don't need this.
No one is going to understand.
Unless they've been through it, how can they?
Then one day you realize
you feel so hopeless.
I need help. I need help.
You feel so hopeless.
Then one day you realize,
unless they've been through it, how can they understand?
I don't need this.
No one's going to judge you.
Suddenly everything was turned around because they insist that I just try.
All it took was someone who would just
listen.
If you or someone you know is battling with any type of cancer, you need to read the book by Laverne Moore Slaughter, God Encounters Are Real. In her book, she tells how through prayer and faith, God healed her and set her free from stomach cancer. For more information and to get your copy, visit www.encountersarereal.net.
In Michigan, marijuana use is now legal for adults over 21. It's legal here, and here, and here, and here. But there's still one place in our state where it's not legal, and that's here. Marijuana impairs coordination, slows reaction time, and distorts perception, which all increase your risk of a crash. Don't drive high. It's the law.
My name is Beverly Winfrey, and I'm here to talk to you about the effects of crazy driving on the families. My son, Stephen Radcliffe, was hit and killed at the beginning of the pandemic by a hit-and-run driver. He was 27 years old. He was killed on March 17th. On April the 17th, he would have turned 28, and on May the 17th, his daughter turned a year. He didn't even get to see his daughter turn 1 year old. But you just don't know the effects that you leave on the family. You left a daughter without a father. You know, you left a mother grieving. I have 5 children, but that's my son. He was the second from the baby. You know, and it's really hard, you know, on the family. And I just need someone to come forward so I can have some kind of closure. You know, you got a lot of people that's being hit and killed by drunk drivers, texting and driving, high and driving, you know, all that. You were flying, and you should see the way the traffic is right here on DeQuinder. He was killed 2 blocks from my home. I could literally stand on my door and literally just about see where my son was killed. Could you imagine the pain and the agony that I go through on a daily basis? I just know that I got God, and God keeps me strong. God keeps me strong. God keeps me so that I don't go through nothing crazy. I ain't went and took no drink or nothing because of that, because I don't want to be drunk and driving and hit somebody's kid or just somebody's period. You know, I'm grateful to Ask the Messenger for allowing me to put this information out there. Again, I just want to say, see something, say something, 1-800-SPEAK-UP, 1-800-SPEAK-UP. And to other families that's going through the same situation as me, or not exactly the same, because we have, listen, I go out with Minister Malik Shabazz and help other families. I just want you to know that there is hope, and just hold on, and God has his reasons, and God is he's gonna prevail. Just don't give up. Please don't give up. Diligently look for whoever killed your child, or your brother, or your sister, or I go out with helping the missing, the murdered, and all of that. Just don't give up. You know, trust in the Lord, and hold on. You know, a lot of times, some people will start, they'll start and they do, and then they stop because they haven't got anything. Well, I'm not stopping. And I encourage you not to stop. I encourage you to continue to pass out flyers, get the information out there. Something is going to come forth for this. Sometimes it be years. They just solved a murder. It had been 6 years, but because the parent, the mother, she was diligent. The whole 6 years, she was coming out periodically, getting the flyers and stuff out, and the information came forth. You never know what will make a person decide to turn themselves in, or somebody turn them in. You know, it's not snitching. Stop thinking of it as snitching. We got to help each other. And look, you can look Minister Malik Shabazz up on Facebook if you need some help with looking for your child's killer or missing. And you can even look me up, Beverly Winfrey, on Facebook. We're there. I just encourage you to don't give up.
And now a message to all drivers from Inkster Chief of Police William Riley III.
Drive as safe as you possibly can. And when I mean by driving as safe as you possibly can, I mean, let's not drive under the influence of alcohol. Let's not drive under the influence of drugs.
We'll be right back with more of Ask the Messengers.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real. You can recover. It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
I thought I was too far gone. I wasn't.
Join the Voices for Recovery.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Hi, my name is Brenda Owens. I work at Greenfield Hair Collection, and I love doing hair. I've been doing it for almost 30 years now, actually. And I do a little bit of everything. This style right here is a pin curl. This is my weekly client, Lenise, short and sassy. She just got a fresh haircut last week. The name of the salon is Greenfield Hair Collection. We're located on Greenfield between Idaho Drive and Curtis. I'm on the second level. My name is Brenda. My phone number is 313-729-8194. Give me a call. I love what I do.
God's World, a Detroit institution at West 7 Mile in Schaefer. God's World, for all your inspirational needs.
We're back with some real people who share their real stories from our visit to Oregon and Niagara Falls. So this is your mode of transportation?
Exactly.
For now?
Yeah, for now. When I go with, like I say, I go with an engine on it.
Okay. So just what's your first name?
Eddie.
Eddie? So Eddie, tell me about your story. What got you where you are today?
Oh, 8 years ago I got colon cancer.
You got what?
I had colon cancer.
Okay.
So I'm an 8-year survivor of cancer. I filed for my Social Security, got denied. I couldn't work. So I filed again and waited. I finally got better, so I went back to work. I had the bag on, the costume bag or whatever. I did asphalt for a living. So then they called me when I'm working. I said, well, I'm fine now. So then I got sick again, and the doctor told me I should stop working because all the radiation I got, it's messing up my bones. So I filed again. I've been waiting for 7 months now. Still haven't heard nothing. So that's why I'm where I'm at.
Are you currently homeless?
No.
Okay.
I got an apartment. I lost my pickup because I couldn't pay my insurance. It's at Larry's Towing and Automotive. It's up to like $3,000 now. I just don't have to get it out. But this is my third time filing, so hopefully I'll get it.
Okay. So do you use any substances or drugs or alcohol to pacify your pain?
I drink. I smoke weed. Once in a while, I'll do meth.
Okay. Tell me about your meth experience. How'd you end up doing that?
I just got fed up with everything. And, they took my truck. I live a dime at a time now because of Social Security. I'm collecting cans.
So how long have you been kind of like out here in the streets?
So for the whole 7 months. I got no other income.
So how's life out here in the Oregon for you?
It's all right.
It's all right?
Okay, I guess.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your story.
Not a problem.
So do you ever think about stopping using the meth?
If I get my Social Security, I want to buy a Dodge 5500 with a camper on it and go travel and see all my family.
So do you know about treatment facilities?
Oh yeah, I've been through all that.
You've done treatment?
Yeah. I stopped doing meth for a long time. And I just barely started up again. And I don't really do it a lot. But I'm mainly skinny because of my cancer. I've been pulled over many a time in my truck before they legalized meth. And they thought I was using meth, but I wasn't. I just can't gain enough weight since the cancer.
As you know, every person that is addicted to any substance, it does
make them, it affects your family, you know, it destroys your family. It destroyed my first marriage. It destroyed my son, my oldest son. I believe it had a lot to do with the way my oldest son turned out, you know. My two younger children never seen me get high, but my oldest one did. I walked up the stairs, my last drink, I walked up the stairs, and he was standing in the doorway. And he said, "Mama, you need some help." And and that was back in '92, and I never had a desire. And I won't say I never had a desire, I never had a need to pick up another drink or drug.
I've overdosed and died 3 times. I felt alone, scared. My family, my parents were in Florida. It was after I had 22 months clean, and I relapsed, and I started shooting heroin. And the one time I was legally dead for about 3 minutes. I'm lucky not to be brain dead. And they Narcaned me 4 times. I didn't come out of it. And this girl wouldn't let them put a sheet over me, and she came down on my chest with her fist, and God seen fit to let me breathe one more time.
My clean date is November the 15th, 2015. My drug of choice was Xanax pills, crack cocaine, alcohol, and heroin. When I first picked up, I was 15 years old. I have used drugs over 25 years. My regular day of using out there in the streets was like, I kind of incorporate as if it was all right to use drugs, not knowing the difference, that I couldn't face the fact that I was an addict because I didn't see myself having a problem. You know, I never was homeless. I thought it was all right to use drugs because I never got into any trouble. So I kind of incorporate in my life daily. I was a daily user.
Please do not do it. Like, it's nothing in this world that I would ever give to go back to that. That downward journey, the death, the chaos, the confusion. Like, you might think it feel good, you might think your friends and your quote-unquote homies love you, but at the end of the road, it's a downhill journey. And prison is real. Death is real. Drugs can get you both, just from one bad decision.
So all you that's thinking about alcohol is the solution, and alcohol is somehow some type of miracle gateway to cure your emotions, I was growing up in a way where I wasn't allowed to express my emotions. I done lost 2 brothers, a father, and a lot of family. And that bottle was never a cure, it was just worse or pain. And put you in a box that traps you. Free yourself, don't be trapped.
I would just say, if you're built anything like me, then it will progress. You know, I started smoking weed and drinking, and next thing I knew, I was selling my daughter's things. I don't know how I got there, but I know I started smoking weed and drinking.
I'm starting to realize that I have a voice that I've never thought that I had, or that I never thought that I could use. Recovery is possible for everybody. You just have to tap into what you want your recovery to look like and just do it.
You never have to use. You know, you never have to pick up another drug another day. Give yourself a break, tie a knot, hold on. One day at a time. You can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And just give yourself some space, give yourself some thought, give yourself some time, you know. And if you feel like pick up, wait till tomorrow.
If you feel like you're down and out and like there's no hope, there is hope. And this program does work. Drugs are no good. They destroy you, they destroy your family, they destroy your relationships, they tear you apart. They also kill. A lot of people are losing their lives nowadays. They're cutting it with fentanyl, and it's not good at all. I've seen people die in front of me. Please don't pick up picked the phone up first.
If you're watching this with your friends, you'll probably make a joke.
Because you know what you feel on the inside
isn't what you want people to know.
If you have to pretend to be happy,
find someone you trust and tell them.
If you get mad at things and you don't know why, or have thoughts about hurting yourself,
find someone you trust and tell them.
You are never alone when you share.
Seriously, people care about you.
It's okay to not understand what you're feeling.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be.
You're never alone when you share.
Don't be ashamed to tell someone you trust what you're feeling.
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
Find someone you trust and tell them.
Tell a parent.
Tell a teacher. Tell a brother or sister.
Or just tell a friend.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone.
It's how things get better.
Mom and Dad, I'm so sorry for what I put you through. And I love you and thank you for always being there for me and being my rock. Hunter and Andrew, I'm sorry. I know I can't change the past. All I can do is do better in the future. And Hunter, I appreciate you for having faith in me and for always having my back. And Andrew, I'm sorry, and I hope that one day you come around and that you will be in my life. And Charlie, I did this out of love. I gave you up for adoption out of love. And I hope that one day you want to meet me. I love all three of you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Ask the Messengers TV show. We hope something you heard today helped you in some way to understand addiction and to give anyone struggling the desire to surrender and seek help. If you or someone you know is experiencing anything that seems to be too hard to handle, please know there is a way out and don't hesitate or be afraid to seek help. Until next time, may you seek a power greater than yourself so that you too can turn your mess into a message that will help save lives. Continue to stay safe and most importantly, be kind and love one another.
Won't you help us to do exactly what our motto is, and that is to help save lives? Won't you send a generous donation to the information there on the screen? We would love to have you as part of our partnership to help save lives. You may not be able to go out in the street, you may not be able to come here to the show, but you can send your donation that helps us save lives.